Good evening. Welcome to the City of Battle Creek, Michigan, and the Battle Creek City Commission meeting for July 5th, 2022. It is 7 o'clock. We have a long meeting tonight. We're going to be interviewing some City Commission candidates, and we also will be having a closed-door session at the end of the meeting. So without further ado, would you please stand for a moment of silence for our invocation, and then our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Commissioner Sherry Sophia. Commissioner Sophia.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item on our agenda is a roll call. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
Commissioner Blood?
Present.
Commissioner Herring?
Present.
Commissioner Lance?
Here.
Mayor Banky?
Here.
Commissioner Morris?
Here.
Commissioner Reynolds?
Present.
Commissioner Sophia? Here. And Commissioner Zenda Wilson?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone, for being here tonight. First item on our agenda is the interview of City Commissioner candidates, and I'd like to call upon Commissioner Blood for a motion.
I move for the following process to be followed for appointment of the at-large commissioner to replace Katie Ferris. The candidates will be allowed 4 minutes each to address the City Commission. The order shall be decided by random lot. Following the presentations, nominations shall be made by commissioners. Candidates will be allowed time to respond to a commissioner's question, and then commissioners shall be limited to 1 nomination per commissioner.
Do we have support to the motion?
Excuse me, Mayor, if I might. There was actually an email I sent out today with a revised process that I was suggesting that didn't involve nominations, given that we have a much smaller pool of candidates here than the last time we did that with nominations. And while this process could be followed, I think we would move along a little bit quicker if we followed the process that I suggested in an email earlier today.
Okay, so you're suggesting that we add one more clause to that motion, Commissioner Sophia?
Mayor, if I might, can I suggest that we go at ease for like 5 minutes in order for the city attorney to confer with the clerk so that we have the appropriate verbiage for the motion?
Sure.
Sure. I think she has it in the, Vicki, did you receive that email earlier today?
I'm looking for it right now.
It was sent at 12:16 today.
Okay. So we gotta get in there. So a motion and a subsequent vote to formally set the process for filling the vacancy.
Mayor, if you would like, I'd be happy to read it out loud, what I had sent out and suggested during the lunch hour today.
I can read it all if you want. I just didn't know because it said confidential at the top if you wanted it all read.
The numbers.
Numbered items?
Yes.
So here's the process I would suggest a commissioner motion to formalize. Each candidate may take up to 4 minutes for an oral presentation to introduce themselves. The order of the candidate's presentation shall be determined by random draw of names by the city clerk. Commissioners may ask questions of the candidate following their presentation, and candidates will be limited to 2 minutes to respond to each question. At the conclusion of the presentations and follow-up questions, public comment will take place with a limit of 3 minutes per person, and the comment must be limited to the topic of filling the vacancy. After public comment, the city clerk will take a roll call vote, with each commissioner casting a vote for one of the 6 candidates. If no candidate receives a majority of votes, 5 votes if all 8 commissioners are present, then any candidate receiving no votes in the first voting round is eliminated, and the city clerk takes a second roll call vote following her usual process with more rounds as necessary until one candidate receives the majority vote necessary to fill the vacancy.
So how would you like me to proceed, Attorney, in regards to my motion? Would you like me to rescind that and make a new one?
I think you could just do, it's fine to revise it as the clerk has just read.
Okay. Please revise my motion to, as the clerk has described per our attorney.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Is there support?
Support.
So moved and supported to establish the process for the interview of the city commissioner candidates. Are there any comments by the commission or any questions or clarifications? Commissioner Reynolds.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Just for clarification, how many votes do we get?
You'll do 1 vote per round. The clerk will go to each of you, so there won't be nominations, given the number that we have. And she'll call your name, and you'll vote for 1 person.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments or clarifications? Commissioner Blood.
I'd just like to make a comment and put it out there. Just going forward, I'm not sure that this might ever happen again if someone were to resign, but it would be probably nice to have this written down somewhere so it wasn't decided on the whim each time. So I would just encourage perhaps us as a commission to work on having something in place, have it be if this happens again in the future, so there's not such confusion.
Thank you, Commissioner, for the great suggestion. Thank you. Any other comments by the commission? Seeing none, would you please, are we going to roll call or can we do a vote tabulation?
I believe I can do it as a vote.
Okay.
And this is just for the process, correct?
Bless you. The process has been approved.
So first will be Frank Drury.
Frank, are you here? Please come forward.
Do I start now? or-
Yep, go right ahead.
Okay. Hello, Council. I'm here before you today to express an interest in filling the open city commissioner seat. I have been a proud Battle Creek resident since 2012 and have joyfully watched the city making efforts to continue improving the quality of life for its residents. We have a very unique history and a lot of fun facts that really stand us apart from other municipalities in our state. Not only do we have a landmass that encompasses over 47 square miles and a population well over 52,000, making us the 3rd largest city in the state, we also offer many career opportunities with some of the world's top brands in automotive, chemical, and food production. To say Battle Creek has something for everyone would be an understatement. Our city is enriched with diversity, which includes our great Burmese community and the proud Natawasepi Huron Band of the Potawatomi, which adds great knowledge and culture to our city. We have groups like Sprout and Lila Arboretum that are helping to feed our communities. Our military heritage is strong with Fort Custer, the VA, and the Air Base, all standing as constant reminders of what freedom costs. Our hard-working manufacturing residents supply the world with products every day. Battle Creek is truly a nesting doll with many layers to discover. I am proud to call this city home and recognize the immense responsibility that goes into keeping the city like ours thriving. But I am sure I don't have to keep telling all of you, here are the great opportunities and historical accomplishments of the city. Because the real reason we are here today is to ensure that our city has the correct leadership to protect all of our assets and encourage continued growth. Let's discuss how I would approach some of the issues our city faces today. They're the same issues that most of America is going through currently, and they are economic. Affordable home ownership is amongst the top priority Americans are facing today. With increased pricing that doesn't reflect wages anymore, we're seeing fewer and fewer living the dream of home ownership. One way I believe we could combat this is not to allow the housing market to be used by large investment firms that have the financial means to drive the market value higher than a parameter we, the city, set. Lack of affordable housing will lead to homelessness and a population shift to other cities that are either more affordable or more attractive. Homelessness is here in Battle Creek already, and watching over the years, I have seen Battle Creek trying to help its homeless populations with shelters and kitchens while trying to invigorate life into its downtown by removing blight like the old Kmart building. As a citizen looking in from the outside, I can only imagine it's a delicate transition to make. I feel that the continuation of the growth in our downtown and encouraging others to visit our city is crucial for downtown's prosperity, and that continuation of humane efforts are still being made to help people combat homelessness by offering assistance for re-entering the workforce or getting the help they need. After all, a home shouldn't define a person's worth, and everyone here should feel blessed if they are living under a roof tonight, because tomorrow holds no guarantees, and that's why it's important to safeguard our housing market today. By electing me, I will be a member that will work with others to accomplish larger goals, even if concessions need to be made on one topic to further another. I will be adaptable, but not break my values. I want to be involved in our city and perhaps one day be employed within City Hall. I want to establish myself within our city's government to really learn how to be an efficient representative that can help his community. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you very much. Frank, I'm sorry about that. Are there any questions of Frank at this time, Commission? Okay, Commissioner Benike. Commissioner, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Frank, I'd like to know, what are the last 3 community events that you've participated or attended in the last 5 years here in Battle Creek?
You know, I haven't really attended a whole lot of community events. I do a lot with the Lila Arboretum and go to some of the events that they host there. And I've been downtown when we had the circus. That was many years ago. But as far as like community outreach and things like that, I haven't really developed a lot. I've been trying to reach out to the Sunshine Garden with Devin out there and try to really help out there. I have a background in horticulture. I've had over 15 years in greenhouse and agriculture and sustainability and food production and stuff. So that's where I really see myself helping out the most, I think.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Devon would love to have you, too.
Yeah.
Commissioner Morris?
Thank you. In what ways have you connected with the community that you intend to serve?
Again, I haven't, I guess I've kind of reserved myself or been kind of sheltered. I haven't really known how to get involved or to be more involved in the city, and I'm really hoping that even if this commissioner position doesn't work out, that I would still be able to gain some knowledge and learn how to be more involved with events like this and with the community and things to help our city.
Thank you. Mayor, can I ask another question, please? At the end of your interview, I heard you mentioning goals that you would like to accomplish. Could you speak on some of the goals that you would like to accomplish if you were selected?
Sure. You know, I think, again, the homelessness, trying to help that issue, trying to help housing, trying to help our downtown, and trying to just bring more of a lifeblood and really make us like a cool city, you know, or something that we can really hang our hats on and feel proud about, even more than we already are already. I mean, it's a great city, and I'm proud to live here. So,
Thank you.
Commissioner Sophia?
Frank, you just mentioned that Battle Creek is a great city, and I couldn't agree more. Can you give us some examples of what you see in Battle Creek, particularly from an outsider's perspective?
Sure. Well, I think I listed some of it with our different cultural heritages, and you know, we're also a tree city, which is really cool. And I think our military, you know, that's great to have. I mean, there's just really a lot here that it's hard to express in a 4-minute speech.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Commissioner Wilson?
Thank you, Mayor. Hi, Frank. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having
Just a question. There's, with this position, it's going to require like hitting the ground running, right? You're going to have to, it's a 4-month, I think we've got about 4 months left in this term. Can you tell us what experience you have serving on any boards or other commissions that might lend themselves to you being able to get up to speed quickly?
Sure. I haven't really.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Commissioner Blood?
Thank you, sir. Hi. It can be daunting to sit there and have 8 people directing questions at you, and I'm hoping at the end of this you go away with a little bit more as well. First question, do you know what ward you live in? I know you're applying for at-large, but do you know what ward you live in?
I believe it's 12.
Okay, so we have 5 wards.
Or precinct, I
So
suppose.
you might be in precinct 12, which would be your voting. How did you hear about the opening, and like what prompted you to seek that out?
Sure. I follow the city government of Battle Creek quite a lot online, a lot of the meetings that people have, and that's where I found it, was through the outreach that the city does online, through social media and Facebook and things.
Okay. Well, there's 2 things I want to leave with you before I end my questions. One, I would highly suggest to find out which ward you're in, because that will help you gauge your next steps. So we do have a process going on right now where individuals can pull a packet and run to be on the city commission and have their name on the ballot in November. So I would encourage you, if you haven't done that yet, to do a little bit of digging and research now. And if that's something that interests you beyond just today and this possible 4-month position, to go ahead and pull a packet and get started on that.
Definitely.
Secondly, another great way to get involved, if today doesn't pan out, is to look into our boards and commissions here at the City of Battle Creek. Our city manager's office would be delighted to help you get an application, fill that out, and it sounds like you might be a good fit for a Sustainable BC committee, which looks at Tree City and sustainability and different things we're doing here in the city. So I want to encourage you today to not just walk away with this interview, but walk away with some next steps you can take away.
Definitely, thank you. What is the, if I may ask a question, how many votes do is it 100 or 150 signatures that you
So
need
it
to-
depends on what you're running for. I would suggest that you visit our wonderful city clerk in her office, and she'd be happy to answer those questions. And she is open tomorrow from
8 to 5.
to 5.
And you also sparked my memory. I am on the Bicycle Advisory Committee.
Okay.
But we just don't meet a
Very
lot,
often,
I
yes.
forgot all about that.
Yes. Well, thank you for answering my questions, and good luck for whatever happens next.
Thank you very much.
Commissioner Reynolds?
Thank you, Mayor. You would need 100 signatures.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it would have to be in the city of Battle Creek, city limits,
Okay.
and registered voters.
In any ward or any precinct?
Yes,
Okay.
as long as it's the city of Battle Creek.
Oh, awesome.
That would be for an at-large position. For a ward position, you would only need 50.
Oh, okay.
Within your
So it just depends on if you're running at-large or for a particular ward.
Can I only be in my ward?
Yes.
Okay.
If you choose to be a ward commissioner, you can only run in your ward, and signatures would only be obtained from registered voters within your ward.
And is there a set number of seats open per ward, or?
There's one for each ward, so there's 5.
Okay.
We have 5 wards in the city of Battle Creek.
I live by Fell Park, if that helps anybody. Is that position already filled?
Is that Urbandale?
That would be Ward 1.
Ward 1? Okay.
Okay, do we have any other questions? All right, Frank, we want to say thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
Feel free to stay here, and the deliberation will be within probably the next hour.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
Kaylee Winters?
But how are you?
You can go ahead.
Great, thank you. Hi, everybody. My name is Kaylee Winters. I was born and raised here in Battle Creek, Michigan, and I am interested in the open all-city commission seat. It has always been a life goal of mine to serve my country and my community in public office. And not only do I believe that I'm highly qualified for this position, I also love this city deeply and would be grateful to serve on this very commission. I currently work at the Michigan House of Representatives and have roughly 10 years of political experience. I began to dip my toes during the 2012 Obama campaign, about 3 months before I was old enough to vote, if that tells you how old I am. And I fell in love with politics, local, state, federal, and the responsibility that came with politics and organizing community and the influence that even a city commission can have on its people. Excuse me. In my career so far, I've been fortunate enough to have the opportunity to lead workshops on reproductive rights and law. I helped co-write policy at the United Nations, and I became the director of a youth voting campaign in 2018. And I currently work as the social media coordinator for the Democratic Caucus at the Michigan House. When I earned my degree and I finished a contract from my first job in college, I knew that no matter what, my goal was to come back to Battle Creek. My lovely husband and I bought a house back here in 2019, and we plan on living here the rest of our lives. My hometown means everything to me, and I will always fight to do what's right by its people. I want to be a cog in the machine that's bringing Battle Creek back to life. I want people to feel confident about raising their families here, knowing they'll always have access to a good paying job, and knowing that if there's an instance where justice and inclusivity are not put first, that their city commission will act accordingly without a doubt. In 2020, I ran for county commission in the 1st District against Miss Kathy Suvetti, and I lost by only 800 votes, my first ever election during the pandemic. Initially, I did want to focus on my career a little bit, but when this open seat became available, I couldn't not jump on the opportunity to at least come here and give my case. I am a grassroots organizer. I care deeply about my community. I have a unique perspective as a young, queer, disabled person in this city, and I will fight for this city thick and thin, no matter what. A couple of the goals that I have for this city include attracting more businesses here, trying to see if we can get more businesses to bid on having places here in the city. I want to make sure that we are allowing our residents to live in a community that is affordable. So while I could not find anything on the website, I would like to talk about like rent caps and rising rent, excuse me, in our community and communities all over. And I would also like to make our city I would like to expand on our city's environmental and green focus, including maybe having some public electric vehicle chargers and encouraging people to really go green in this city. All of this is to say that I know policy, I know how to make hard decisions, and I love this city. And I'd be honored to sit on this board with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Are there any questions? We'll start with Commissioner Bonica Herring, and then we'll go to Commissioner Carla Reynolds.
Thank you, sir. Kaylee, what are the last 3 Battle Creek community events that you've participated in or attended?
Yes, so there's the Battle Creek Field of Flight that just happened. And although the next 2 events that I'm going to name aren't the most recent that I've been to, the most proud was the Battle Creek Pumpkin Fest that happened in October at Lila Arboretum. It was one of the city's first all-free community events that I was able to help bring together in less than 2 months. And before I was at the House of Representatives, I was working at Community Inclusive Recreation, and I had the opportunity to host the Kickball Classic down at Bailey Park.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Reynolds.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for coming down, Kaylee. My question for you, have you been on any boards or any commissions locally in our community?
Unfortunately, I have not been in recent years because I was living in East Lansing and Lansing while I was getting my degree and during my first contract outside of college, minus when I was a nurse aide down at Battle Creek Bronson for 2 years. Thank you.
Commissioner Blood.
Thank you, sir. Do you know what ward you live in locally?
I live in Commissioner Lance's ward, Ward 5.
Okay, and have you perhaps pulled a packet to run this upcoming season in Ward 5?
So my plan is actually tomorrow morning to go pick that up because I work for the government 9 to 5 and my job prohibits me from doing any campaign or electioneering, well, to not be accused of electioneering, excuse me, between the hours of 9 to 5.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner Morris?
In what ways have you attempted to connect with the community recently that you serve?
Sure. When I was helping with the Kickball Classic, for instance, I was able to help raise over $20,000 for community inclusive recreation, and I was able to talk to local heads of the community and local business owners. I've also helped with things at like Lila Arboretum. I've connected with folks like Miss Tori Fox over there in the corner with a 365 Lila Arboretum garden, and Sprout as well.
Thank you.
Commissioner Wilson?
Thank you. Hi, Kaylee.
Hi.
I'm really interested in your ideas around attracting business and wonder if you have specific policy ideas related to attracting business to Battle Creek?
I have nothing drafted, but I would really love to sit down and talk about it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
I heard something about rent caps. Did you say something about that, or did I miss?
I did, yes.
Could you share some more information about that?
Sure.
And excuse me, and how it benefits those people that are most vulnerable today to housing initiatives?
Sure. Excuse me, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. So as we all know, rent is on the rise in general all over the United States, and it's making housing in general much less affordable, not only just for millennials and Gen Zers nowadays, but for everybody that is looking for affordable housing. So while I would not say a rent cap necessarily, X amount of dollars only can be paid per month by city policy, I would like to implement a percentage cap per year so that landlords aren't taking advantage of people who are already struggling to find housing.
Thank you for your further explanation. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Any other comments at this time? Thank you very much.
Thank you for
and
the opportunity.
You're welcome. Madam Clerk, our next candidate.
Steve Stockwell.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate it. I wanted to start off by saying that I have lived in Battle Creek since 2017. Starting off as a young man, I joined the military and served as a combat veteran overseas in Iraq. Upon coming back, I wanted to start giving back to my community. So I started off in the Lansing area as a hemodialysis technician, worked in that field for over 14 years. During that time, I never lost one patient, and I was able to improve the lives of over thousands of people. Since then, I have decided to go back and complete my degree at CMU in healthcare administration, which is a healthcare degree, but it's also a public administration degree as well that specializes in finance and other things that are important to CEOs of the business. Currently, I work for Michigan Works, and the reason that I found that home there is because my last semester at CMU is when the Affordable Care Act hit, and that's when all the hospitals decided to go on a lockdown for hiring. I found a wonderful home and chain of command with Michigan Works, where I work with the businesses of Battle Creek on a daily basis. I work with a diverse population, helping them with resume assistance, job search assistance, multiple workshops such as interview techniques and interview etiquette. And I get people back to work, which is what's most important. I would like to be a part of this organization because I feel like it is the next natural evolution to helping out with the community. And although I have not yet picked up a packet, guaranteed I will be there first thing tomorrow morning. I did want to speak about possible businesses that we could bring into Calhoun County, more specifically Battle Creek. Although we have some solar energy coming in, I believe green energy is the way of the future, and I would like to bring more of that in and see what ways we can make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve, very much. Are there any questions? Commissioner Bonica, hearing.
Thank you. Steve, what are the last 3 community events that you've participated in or attended in Battle Creek?
That would be the most recently, the Hot Air Balloon Fest taken out there. That was always fun. I also go to numerous job fairs that's put on both by Michigan Works as well as other agencies, so I can get out there and meet other businesses and other people.
Commissioner Morris, then Commissioner Reynolds.
Thank you. Considering we're almost at the end of our term, and there's not a lot of time for catch-up, how will your past experiences help you make the decisions that you need to make in this position?
Well, I feel like after combat, pretty much everything is easy at this point. It's easy decisions are made. Some are tougher than others, but I'm a quick learner, and I have no problem adapting to change. That's one of my strengths.
Thank you.
Commissioner Reynolds.
Thank you, Mayor. Steve, could you tell me, are you currently on any boards or commissions at all in the city?
No, currently I work with the TAA through Michigan Works. That is the Trade Adjustment Assistance. I help people who have lost their job to foreign trade. But currently I am not on any boards as of yet.
Thank you.
Commissioner Blood.
Thank you, sir. I'm glad to hear you'll be picking up a packet. Do you know what ward you're in?
I am in Ward 5.
Fantastic. Glad to hear that Ward 5 is getting some action. Yours as well.
I might have to pick up a package.
So how did you hear about this open position?
I was actually assisting a participant look for a job, and we were going through some of the locals' ads, and we seen that there was a position open for the commissioner at large. And after I assisted him, I told my boss, this is going to happen. So I got full support from them.
Fantastic. And you had talked a little bit about bringing different companies in green energy. Other than solar, what are some other companies that you would identify as being potential green companies that you would like to speak with in coming to Battle Creek?
Well, possibly on the outskirts of the town, maybe a windmill farm, if that is not feasible, which in mid-Michigan, right now, that's extremely popular, having those up there. If that's not feasible, possibly some more charging ports for the electric vehicles, since we have surpassed our demand destruction for gasoline. It's simply a matter of time, and we might as well get ahead of the curve.
Thank you.
Any other commission comments or questions? Thank you very much, Steve. Good luck.
Thank you.
Feel free to stay. Madam Clerk?
John Kennefic.
Do I have to tell you my address? I've spoken with another number of people about coming up here, and they said, John, what you have to do is smooth these people over and tell them how wonderful they are. And all of you would know that, and everyone else that's seen me up here before would know that I was lying. I didn't want to start out that way. I'm going to explain to you why you, this commission, do not feel that I am capable of being a city commissioner. I have never sold a property to Serial City Development Corporation and received $150,000. And then they sold it back to me for $1. It was to take care of my pending bankruptcy that I never had. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to look at Liber 1657, page 519, 522, and 525. Two of you had packets, but one of you surrendered them to the city attorney just before the meeting started. That means that I don't have to come forward and give money back to Serial City Development Corporation, which they were given over $2 million from that commissioner in these meetings, plus $500,000 later. So I follow the money. What I do is, people say they come up here and all I do is criticize you guys. What I do is I tell people what you do not tell them. I look and research the information. Let me give you an example. 2011, there was an election going on for city commissioners. And a question was asked of the mayor of Battle Creek, Susan Baldwin. How many cost increases that went in front of you did you turn down, did not approve, vote against? It made it to the newspaper and was recorded on television. I'm the one that asked the question. She responded by saying she didn't know, but she's lobbied hard against cost increases. From 2007 to 2011, she had 435 cost increases above the normal operational expense of the essential services of Battle Creek, with no mention of lobbying against any cost increases. Another commissioner, Commissioner Ward Gray, in that time period had 200 cost increases, more than the essential service cost increases that were being applied. I've always taken the position that we're overtaxed. And when you do something, and I'll give you a couple examples of that, I expect this commission to represent the citizens, not the government. Down here we have a furnace, which is a pelletized furnace to save money. Estimated cost of $25,000 a year by going to wood pellets. Citizens of Battle Creek paid for that. What did they receive? Nothing. You went to computers at the cost, taxpayers' cost. Estimated cost of the paper saved, not including the efficiency, but just the paper saved by the taxpayers is about $25,000 a year. You kept the money. When you guys came out here, at the first meeting you had, when you were all reelected, I said, look at the people that you took the place of, and if you vote the same way as they do, then you're no different or better than they are. Here's the things that I believe in. We're overtaxed, so we have to reduce our costs. We are over-oppressed by government. You have passed a resolution to change an ordinance that allows the government of Battle Creek to stand and enter upon people's private property without a warrant or a probable cause. I'd like to see that changed. There are things that happen that you save money on using the taxpayer dollars, and in my opinion, they should be returned to the citizens, which makes it better for them and the city of Battle Creek. I've only got a second left. I'm sure you've got interesting questions for me, so
Thank
go
you, John.
for it.
Thank you, John. Commissioner Bonica, hearing.
You
My
knew I was
boards?
coming, sir. John, what were the last 3 Battle Creek community events that you attended or participated in?
I attended the air show this year, and I did it last year, and I went to Lila Arboretum a number of times last year. They haven't had it this year. Depending on my time availability, I'm very busy, and I have a business that I do run, and working that out.
Thank you.
Commissioner Reynolds and Commissioner Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor. John, are you currently on any boards or commission in the city of Battle Creek?
Not at this time, but in the past, which was my training experience, I had 2 years' experience being an accountant for a union, and that's where I learned a lot about credits and debits. And just for the record, they didn't vote for me for my wonderful personality. They were really ticked off at the other guy.
Thank you.
That was my question, Mayor.
Thank you. Commissioner Blood.
Mr. Kenefick, how are you?
I live in Ward 2, by the way.
Fantastic. Did you pull a packet to participate in this upcoming voting season?
Due to circumstances within my control, yes, I did.
Okay. So another question. So you yourself admittedly stated that you come up here and criticize us often, which is allowed, right? That's what our public office allows for. So that has created probably some tense relationships. I have attempted to talk to you several times and have not succeeded, but that's neither here nor there. So if you were to be elected tonight into this position, how might you work to repair, or how might you work to grow some relationships with people on this commission that perhaps might be a little
Less
afraid?
pushy.
You would be less pushy?
No, I'm just saying you would expect me to be maybe a little bit less.
Nope, I'm asking you what you would do. I'm not suggesting you do anything.
Okay, that's fine. It's a very good question. Since I believe in things that are opposite views of the policies of the government of Battle Creek, I would try to reason with the people of the city commission so that we could correct problems that are in place. One of our conversations between you and I, which was accurate, was around prior to December 2020, not the last conversation recently. And I explained some concerns to you, and a couple of the concerns you really didn't address, or I was waiting for you. The mayor said people can only speak up here for 3 minutes when it was 5 minutes, and it's a very difficult thing when you have multiple issues and multiple situations. So my anticipation from you as a commissioner to say to the mayor, Mayor, it's almost impossible to have 2 or 3 or 4 subjects and do them in 3 minutes. Instead, you said to him, well, please explain to us again why you're doing what you're doing. And I was really surprised by the entire commission to say, yes, we want you to come up here and speak, but we're going to really limit what you can say while you're up here. So if you had 2 or 3 subjects, there's no way you're going to be able to speak about them and articulate, especially in very complex issues. And I thought that was kind of, you want us to speak, but we're going to limit that. I thought it was kind of saying you want us to be here, but not really, you're wasting our time.
Okay, well, I appreciate you sharing your interpretation of that event. Thank you so much.
John, thank you very much.
No questions, Mr. Mayor?
Thank you, sir.
You sure?
Please sit down.
Kelly Grenfell?
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners, and City staff. My name is Kelly Grenfell. I'm a lifelong resident of Battle Creek and a mother of 2 adult children. I attended Lakeview Schools, and later when my children were a bit older, I attended Kellogg Community College, where I graduated in 2013 with honors with an associate degree in paralegal studies. I owned a title searching business from 2000 until I went to work for one of my clients in 2008, where I remain. I am now still searching and examining title, and I'm a team lead over a handful of people. I started volunteering in 2008 when I joined Junior League of Battle Creek. During my 14 years with Junior League, I served for multiple years on the board and was president from 2014 to 2015. I served in every position on that board. It was Junior League that really pushed me out of my comfort zone and into the community. Through League, I have volunteered with In As Much House, Safe Place, The Haven, Charitable Union, and several more. I have served on the advisory board for Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I'm currently a volunteer for CentraCare Hospice as a companion volunteer for those at the end stage of life or clients with families that just need to get away. I try to be out and about in our community as much as possible, participating in our various events. My family and I attend the breakfast table, Spring and Fall into the Arts, a few of the multicultural events that take place downtown, and of course, as with this past weekend, the Field of Flight. I tell you all of this to give you a little background into the passion I have for our community and how much I like being involved in everything Battle Creek. I know a lot of organizations cannot run as well without their volunteers, and our city needs these organizations to help our citizens. Our city is stronger when we work together to help each other. My current position as a team lead within my company and all of the board experience I have has set me up for this next step. I believe I bring a lot of experience working to maintain an organization with the budgets and policies that need to be made. I have worked with many different personalities in different settings. I have worked on some challenging issues in organizations. In League, we were at one point on the verge of shutting down. We had to come up with solutions to get us back on track that would help us become sustainable again. That was a tough year, but we did it. I have had interesting times where balancing the budget of an organization was a tough job. I know volunteering can be time-consuming. I have put in many hours over the years, and I'm willing to continue to do that to work on what I am passionate about, our city. I ask that you vote for me based on my experience, integrity, and sheer drive to always do better. I do not stand up here with all the knowledge of how everything works at the city level, but I am determined to learn. Even if I am not given the position today, I plan on running for the at-large position this fall. Again, I feel after all my history serving organizations in our city, that moving into the actual workings of our city is the next logical place for me to be. I strive to be more involved. Please help me make that leap. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions?
You answered all mine.
Commissioner Wilson, then we'll go to Commissioner Morris.
Thank you, Mayor. Hi, Kelly. Thank you for being here, and thanks for all you do in our community. I do have one question. Do you have any specific accomplishments you'd like to actually reach in the short time that's left with the term that you'd be filling?
I think the biggest accomplishment, as I stated, is really learning the internal workings of the city. I have a lot of experience volunteering with other organizations, but again, I really am not familiar with how our city runs, and that has fascinated me for a long time, but I've just never taken that dive into it.
Thank you.
Do you currently follow what the city commission is doing? And if so, how are you staying up on that?
So I have probably, honestly, only watched a couple of the commission meetings online. My current job was very, very busy. I just got promoted fairly recently, so I was stuck on that and moving forward with my job. But since then, I have decided that I really needed to branch out. So not enough, probably.
Thank you.
Commissioner Blood.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. I know how vulnerable it is to state that you're going to come in and not know anything and be aware of that, because many of us came in not knowing anything. So that's difficult, and thank you for that. I'm happy to hear that you'll be running at large. I know you're running at large, but do you know what ward you're in?
I am in Ward 4.
Fantastic, good. And how did you hear specifically about this position?
I actually saw a blurb on Facebook, I believe, but I've had a couple members, friends in the community that have, over the past couple years, expressed their interest in me running for a city commission spot. But again, I've never really taken that dive.
Well, I'm glad you are, and you've used some words today that I've really liked and highlighted, and you are correct. Our city is beyond just city staff and us up here. It's a culmination of volunteers and entities, so thank you for that work and that in those fields. I appreciate it, and yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commission comments, questions? Thank you very much, ma'am.
Commissioner Lynn Ward Gray. I'm sorry, not Commissioner. No used to that, I'm sorry.
Well, good evening. My name is Lynn Ward Gray, 245 Irving Park Drive, Battle Creek. And it's just a pleasure to be before you, Honorable Mark Dinky and commissioners. It is my pleasure to stand before you today requesting the appointment by this honorable body to the Battle Creek City Commission at-large seat vacated by Vice Mayor Katie Ferris at the June 7th commission meeting. Why am I interested? My public service runs deep and long. As a city commissioner for the city of Battle Creek, a position I held from 2009 to 2020, as well as serving as vice mayor from 2014 to 2015, I am uniquely qualified to fill the vacancy and look forward to putting my years of experience immediately back to work, should I be appointed. I believe a seat at the table of local government is where I can be most effective in making a difference for my community and my hometown. I am currently the treasurer committee member for the Battle Creek Juneteenth Family Day celebration, working with a group of committed volunteers to bring this event to the greater Battle Creek area each and every year. I have been involved since 2006, just 3 years after it began in our community. I am the current president of the Battle Creek Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a public service organization. I have the distinction of being the longest serving president in our 42-year history, serving as president at the end of my current term in 2023 for a record 12 of what will be 43 years since we were chartered. These are just a few examples of my commitment and service to the city of Battle Creek and its residents. I also serve on multiple boards, committees, and commissions, such as the City of Battle Creek Planning Commission, Neighborhoods Incorporated. I'm employed by the Battle Creek Community Foundation as a development officer, helping residents leave a legacy of philanthropy in our community. In conclusion, it would be an honor to serve with all of you, working together for the people, for Battle Creek. Thank you for your thoughtful consideration.
Thank you, Lynn. Are there any questions? Commissioner Bonica, hearing.
Ms. Lynn, what are the last 3 Battle Creek community events that you attended or participated in, other than Juneteenth and Field of Flight?
Well, see how you are. Okay. But of course, I was at Cereal Fest promoting Juneteenth. I am going to be at the Battle Creek Pride event, so I'm looking forward to that. And what would be my third? There's been so many, the ribbon cutting, or not ribbon cutting, yes, ribbon cutting and groundbreaking for the village, youth village child care center.
Thank you.
Commissioner Morris?
This commission has been called progressive. I think that's the way that many people describe this commission. So I'm wondering, how do you think that your past experiences will help you in seeing how to be progressive on this commission?
My past experiences are everything. I mean, I served on probably more than 20 boards, committees, or commissions. And I still serve through the Planning Commission. I'm also on the Calhoun County Land Bank Authority, which, you know, also, you've heard housing being mentioned before. It's very important for our community. And so I think that experience of being at the table of these various committees and commissions and being able to dive into that, whatever openings were created by the outgoing Vice Mayor, I think gives me an advantage to be able to, you know, fill those 4 months with an impactful wealth of experience to bring with me.
Thank you.
Commissioner Blood?
Thank you, sir. Hello, Miss Lynn Ward Gray.
Hello, Commissioner Blood.
I know you know which ward you're in. Have you pulled your packet yet?
I have, and I am running for
Congratulations.
mayor of the city of Battle Creek.
Fantastic. I'm glad to hear it.
Thank you.
And I know how you heard about this because you are here for meetings.
Yes.
So what would you say, because this is such a short time that we have 4 months, are there any goals or accomplishments that you are looking to fulfill in that time frame, being that you've been in this role before from 2009 to 2020? Do you have anything coming that you would like to address if you were to fill this role?
Well, since it is a short time, I just want to keep everything moving forward, work together with my fellow commissioners, and definitely, if there's anything we can do to make people's lives easier with the high cost of anything from this body, and I would love to work with fellow commissioners to do that. Seeing prices are so high right now, if there's anything that we can do to help our residents out, that would be awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions of Lynn Ward Gray? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And we will now go into public comment. And this is the period of time that if you'd like to make public comment regarding the vote that we will have for the city commissioner candidates, we ask that you be acknowledged by raising your hand. We will acknowledge you to come forward to the podium. You'll have 3 minutes. Is it 3 minutes or 3 minutes, correct, to make your comments. Please state your name and address before making your comments. Do we have anyone who would like to make a public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Cindy Dion. I live at 24 Poplar here in Battle Creek, Michigan. I live in your ward right there.
Yes, ma'am, you do.
I would like to say thank you to Commissioner Blood for encouraging all of these people to run for a longer term, because really 4 months doesn't give them much time to do much of anything. But for me, for all of them, I would say if you're going to run, have some action plans. You know, just don't say, this is what I would like to do. Have a vision. Show us what you think this community can become. And I would encourage that we encourage as a community to become inclusive, that we don't leave anybody out. We try to recognize how easy it is to marginalize citizens because of food insecurities or being an older person. And I would encourage us not to fight these tendencies and to become an inclusive community where people coming to Battle Creek to live could say, wow, it's going to be good for me no matter what. And because you have so many things going on tonight, and I know that Dale Carnegie says keep to 90 seconds, I'm going to adjourn myself now.
Thank you very much. Are there any other public comments at this time? Yes.
Good evening, Reese Adkins, 24 Popular. And listening with the candidates that all kept up here and spoke, being that this is a 4-month term, I am in support of 2 of them coming up, but the one I'm in support of the most because I think she would fill a position is Lenore Gray. She has done an excellent job when she was on this commission. And I encourage to put somebody up here that can get up there, start, and go running, being that this is a short time frame that they have on the commission. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there any other public comment at this time? Yes, Jerry Steiner.
Good evening. My name is Jerry Steiner. I live at 115 South 26th Street, Battle Creek, and I'm a candidate for mayor. Listen, I've listened to all 6 candidates, and I feel that any one of them might fill the seat for 4 months. But I got to tell you, I was really impressed. I believe I'm pronouncing her name right, Kaylee Winter. She seemed to be well versed in a lot of the concerns of the people. Now, I know John, and I know he has his own way of doing things. I'm not familiar with the other folks, Mr. Stockwell, Ms. Grunfeld, but I am familiar with Ms. Lynn Ward Gray, and I wish her well. I wish her family well. I hope this commission lives up to the dictates and sworn whatever they're supposed to do. You know, when I think about this political arena and how you got it set up, it's not the worst thing in the world, you know, but I think it could be improved on. And one of these candidates, I believe, will bring something new, something fresh to the Battle Creek City Commission. And having said that, I think I'll save my general comments for later. Peace.
Thank you, Mr. Steiner. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Tiffany Blackman, 191 Laurel Drive. It is weird being here. I was born and raised in Battle Creek, and I don't have a political bone in my body. I actually avoid politics like the plague. I love people. It seems to be divisive a lot of times. But I'm here because a really good friend asked me to be here, and I stand in support of Kelly Grenfell. So I just want to say that, man, I'm also standing here in support of Lynn Ward Gray, because that's my girl. And she absolutely knows so much about this city and the inner workings, and I just have an admiration for people, every single candidate actually that stand up tonight and said, like, I want to see a change, I want to see a difference, I want to be involved. I'm an action-oriented person myself, and yeah, it takes a lot to actually put yourself out here. So I know the guts and bravery that it took for Kelly to say, like, hey, I want to go to a different level of service in this community. And she has a heart to learn. Every time I've seen her on a local board, in her job, with her family, she's consistently putting in 100% effort to learn how to better that thing. And just seeing her stand up and ask to be put in this position, of course I support her in that. And so I definitely hope that you consider her, even if not for the small span of time, for the next step, because I do believe that fresh insight, fresh viewpoint is really, really integral in any organization. I do believe that we should have experience levels and levels that have been there for quite a while, but we got to get the new blood in too. Don't look at me because I'm not the new blood, but definitely consider Kelly and support Lynn.
Thank you for your comment. Do we have any other public comment? Yes, ma'am.
Kyron Herring, 50 Orchard Place. I came in a little late, so I didn't get to see everybody, but I did want to throw in my 2 cents about Miss Lynn. We only have 4 months left of this term. It's great that people want to be involved in local government and all, but putting someone that's not experienced in when it's only 4 months left, I don't think that's the smartest idea. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not questioning y'all judgment. I'm just saying, like, if I was trying to hire someone and hear somebody like, hey, I want to learn. I know I only have like 120 days, but I just want to learn. Versus somebody like, hey, I done lurked here for like 10 years. I already know this. I got y'all. I'll back y'all up. I feel like that's more, I don't know. It makes more sense, especially if you need more action-oriented people. We do have a very progressive commission this term, and I feel like it would just be great to put a pro in there and then let the general public vote for inexperienced people if they want to. So that's just my little 2 cents. So thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Any other comments at this time?
Got somebody back.
Yes.
My name is Sam Gray, 245 Irving Park Drive. There's a quote that says, you can't lead people if you don't love the people. You can't save the people if you don't serve the people. And that's a Cornel West quote. And I've watched my wife love people. I've watched my wife serve people. And I've seen those late nights of staying up and not going to bed at night, serving people and loving people. So in my view, Lynn is the only one that deserves to be selected. I've interacted with one of these folks that came up here, and this person will look at me in town, I will say hello to that person and will not get a hello back or, recognize me at all. So again, if you don't love people, you can't serve them. So, and thank you.
Thank you, Sam. I believe someone in the back corner. Yes.
Hi, Victoria Monique, Michigan Ave. So I come before you to show support of two amazing people putting their name in for at-large Commissioner Kaylee Winters and Lynn Ward Gray. Both of these people have shown their dedication to our community in so many ways. They are among the most reachable and accessible people in our community, regardless of this position. People know that they can come to them. They're the only familiar faces I've seen come up and speak. I see Kaylee at local places around the city, educating people on issues and getting them active in what they want to see change. I see Lynn doing the same thing, whether I'm dropping my kid off to school or attending a neighborhood event. Both of them show us what it means to be doing work in our community right now. I've looked up to Lynn since I was a young high schooler, involved in local politics, and with Kaylee getting to work beside her since that same 2012 campaign she spoke of. I've seen her growth in the community work across multiple areas. We see these women at community events, whether they are planning them or running them or volunteering or just enjoying them. They both aren't only educated, they are experienced, and something I have heard both of them leave out is that they both have shown engagement with our community recently by hosting youth town hall meetings to intentionally engage and educate our youth on various topics around local government here and how to get them involved. I want an experienced commissioner, I want an accessible and visible commissioner, and I want a committed commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Do we have any other comments? Okay, I want to thank you very much for your patience and for listening. We'll now move to the vote to fill the city commission vacancy.
Commissioner Reynolds.
Excuse me. I have a question first. So they're going to call our name and we're just going to throw out one name. That's it?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Before we do that, can we take a quick 3-minute potty break?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I don't know that she wants it. I think we're set on the procedure because of what I read. I think we're all set.
So in the procedure, Rebecca, do we need to save this, or are we just going to go ahead?
I think based on Jill's email, we just go ahead, right?
Thank you for that break.
No problem. I've been there before. Okay, it's 8:11, and we'll go back to our city clerk.
Commissioner Reynolds.
Lynn Ward Gray.
Commissioner Morris.
Linwood Gray.
Mayor Banky.
Linmore Gray.
Commissioner Lance.
Kelly Glenfell.
Commissioner Zenda Wilson.
Lynn Ward Gray.
Commissioner Sophia.
Kelly Greenfeld.
Commissioner Herring.
Lynn Ward Gray.
And Commissioner Blood.
Lynn Ward Gray.
Thank you. So Lynn Ward Gray has 6.
All right, we have a new city commissioner, Linmore Gray, and I'm going to ask that the city attorney please advise us, do we now swear her in?
I think that you should, because you've got to fill the vacancy within 30 days, and that's up Thursday. So this seems as good a time as any, particular given her experience on the commission.
All right, I'll call upon the clerk to conduct that.
Of the office of City Commissioner for the City of Battle Creek to the best of my ability.
We're going to just take a couple-minute break to let her get the computer going so that she can get acclimated.
I don't have a sign-on.
I don't believe we have a sign-in, so we'll be doing voice vote
Okay.
when it comes to.
Very good. I want to thank all the candidates who ran for the position. We thank you for your involvement, and we thank the public for conducting public comments very appropriately. Thank you. Lynn, tell me when you're ready, and we'll get going.
I am ready. Thank you all very much.
All right. Next item on our agenda will be chair noting any added or deleted resolutions.
There were none.
Thank you very much. Next item would be petitions, communications, and reports.
There were none.
Next item on our agenda is public comment regarding consent agenda and resolutions not on the consent agenda. If you'd like to make public comment regarding the consent agenda and resolutions not on the consent agenda, please raise your hand and we will acknowledge you to come forward to the podium. You will have 3 minutes to make your comments. Please state your name and address before the beginning your comments. Are there any comments at this time? Reese.
Good evening, Rice Adkins, 24 Popular, Battle Creek, Michigan. I am speaking on Resolution 438, a resolution on a public hearing at 7 p.m. on July 19th, 2022, on behalf of the Pumbler LLC and the Obsolete Property Rehabilitation District 19, which, as we all know, was just in front of the City Commission not too many meetings ago for a public hearing. I spoke with Commissioner Blood before the meeting on this issue and find out why is this back on our agenda again for a second public hearing, and she has advised me that the original people that had this building backed out and fell through, and there's somebody else in the building. My concern with this is how many times are we going to go through this? I mean, again, we did something, the City Commission approved it, and now we're right back again where, oh, well, there's no money, there's no ability to do this, and now we have somebody else that's coming forward and saying, well, yeah, maybe I'll do it or I'll do it. And how many times are we going to do this? How many times are these buildings going to continually come up to the City Commission for the same thing? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. I'll make certain that someone gets back to you with a reason. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening, Elisha Hodge. I'm on West Michigan here in Battle Creek. I would like to comment on 438 as well. I actually represent Plumeria LLC, and the first time that I was aware that the Lakeview Hardware was on the agenda was when we inquired to have it on the agenda as an obsolete building, and now it's on the agenda again because I put the application in for the Oprah. So it'll be on the application. I mean, it will be on the agenda again, hopefully in 2 weeks, if this has been approved, for the Oprah to go through. So I'm a small business owner, and I would like to expand in Battle Creek with a larger facility. So that's why it's on the agenda.
Well, let me be the first to congratulate you and wish you the best of luck.
Thank you.
Yes, Jim. Roger, sorry. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing. Roger Ballard, 128 Althea Avenue. And I was wondering what Plumeria was doing here. And it's in our neighborhood, and they have been a fantastic business in Urbandale. So anything that can go forward in, I believe it might be in the Lakeview hardware store, I'm not positive, but that's just awesome. They are great people. Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. And Jim. Are there any other? Yes, ma'am.
It's me again. I saw Plumeria was on the agenda, and I just wanted to say that is my favorite florist. Right. Always warm smiles. They know me by my mother's favorite color of flowers. And honestly, I just love to see how they have blossomed over the years and how they have expanded. It's really beautiful in there, and it's hard to really find just such genuine, happy people who just really want to do business here. A lot of people want to do their business. They get big and they leave, right? Or they start changing prices, or they start acting real different. But it stayed the same, stayed true, and make sure y'all all go to get flowers for whatever event y'all need, because you won't find fresher flowers, you won't find brighter flowers, and I don't know, it's just like she's almost psychic. She just knows exactly what I need. I just be like, yep, I need $25 worth of flowers, and it's everything I wanted and more. I like flowers. I'm sorry, but yes, whatever they're asking for, just please do it. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Yes, ma'am.
Tiffany Blackman, 191 Laurel. I did not know Plumeria needed something. Give her whatever she asked for. I own a small business downtown. It's Bread and Basket LLC. I'm at 38 East Michigan Avenue in the Potter Block building. And oh my gosh, it is not easy starting out. a business. I know several of you on the commission know that, either yourselves personally or family members and friends. And when we have anyone that wants to take vacant land and do something with it, make it happen, for sure. All about it.
Thank you, Tiffany. Is there any other public comment at this time? John?
John Kennefic, 234 South Avenue. This is in regards to Resolution 439, which is the tax fee bond schedule. I want to give you two analogies and then drive my point home. About 12 years ago, the City of Battle Creek, the Commission, made a public comment at one of these meetings, and during that time, the economy had collapsed or was in bad shape. And the comments was from the City Commission, this is not a good time to give the citizens of Battle Creek cost increases, which sounded very generous until a couple months later they passed that tax fee bond schedule of 232 cost increases. The cost increases in this resolution of 439, there are 12 reductions, in small reductions in this form where you'll get a small benefit, and there's over 247 cost increases that are going to go way up. And some of them have 100 or more cost increase differences between what they were and what they are now. And I'm going to give you one final analogy in regards to this matter. This happened in 2002 when I first met my first state representatives. They're sort of like the City Commission. They'll say one thing and then do the opposite. And there was Mike Knopf and Mark Schauer. And they said, Jennifer Grandhome has kept her promise. We're not giving tax increases. And then they said, we're giving 72 licensing fees for paid professional increases. All these increases were for paid professionals, such as doctors, nurses, dentists, dental hygienists. I made the comment, you mean that when you're going to give these cost increases, they're going to raise their cost to everyone else? Yes, they're going to raise cost to everyone else. The other consideration is what factories have, where they have medical benefits and things of that nature. You increase those premiums, then the cost of those products go up, but you don't see. The biggest problem we have today is those things kind of early sliding. And as far as surgical and paid professionals, shortly thereafter, those increases went into place. Across the front page of the Battle Creek Inquirer, health care costs soar. They do it very subtly, like you do. These are cost increases, and you are definitely making it a little bit more difficult for the people of Battle Creek to financially stay available and financially available. But I'm being argumentative here, I suppose. Thank you.
Any other public comments at this time? Hearing none, we'll move on. Next item on our agenda is commission comment regarding meeting business.
Sir?
Go ahead.
Thank you. I was going to ask to pull 438, but it sounds like there's a lot of support in the room. Alicia, love you guys. All my goldfish and lipstick and Swiss are doing great. I'm really excited to see you move. I just hope you are somewhat still in Urbandale. Wink, wink, wink. So congratulations, and I hope this is good for you. Thank you, sir. Oh, yes, I'm also, thank you. I made my comments and I thought, woohoo, time to, I was gone one meeting and this happens. I move for the approval of the consent agenda as presented.
I support.
It's been moved and supported to approve the consent agenda. Is there any comments or questions by the commission? Yes, Commissioner.
If I may, I would just like to also remind everyone in the community that may not be familiar with Plumeria Boutique, they support this community huge. During Memorial Day, they are out putting flowers at the Fort Custer National Cemetery. They are, and that's how I met Alicia, is she was out in the community doing great work, serving, giving herself to this community. And I just want to say congratulations. I'm excited. You know I'll be there, pink and white, as big as you can make it.
Thank you, Commissioner. Seeing none, would you please call the roll?
And Commissioner Gray?
Yes.
Thank you.
Consent agenda has been approved. Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 439. Madam Clerk, when you're ready.
Section 802.24 of the codified ordinances of the City of Battle Creek provides that the City Commission shall, from time to time, by resolution, enact a schedule of fees required to be paid, bonds required to be posted, and insurance required to be carried. The fee, bond, and/or insurance is required to obtain a license to engage in the operation, conduct, and carrying on of any trade, profession, business, or privilege for which a license or permit is required by the codified ordinances. This resolution approves the 2022-2023 fee, bond, and insurance schedule for the City of Battle Creek.
I move for the approval of Resolution 439.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 439. Are there any commission comments, questions, or clarifications? Seeing none, please vote.
Commissioner Gray?
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 439 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is Resolution 440.
As permitted under the Michigan Open Meetings Act, a public body, upon a two-third majority vote, may meet in closed session in order to consult with its attorney regarding trial or settlement strategy in connection with specific pending litigation, but only if an open meeting would have a detrimental financial effect on the litigating or settlement position of the public body.
I move for the approval of Resolution 440.
Support.
It's been moved and supported to approve Resolution 440. Are there any comments by the commission? Seeing none, would you please vote?
Oh, Commissioner Gray?
Yes.
Thank you.
Resolution 440 has been approved. Next item on our agenda is general public comment. If you'd like to make comment regarding general public comment regarding matters over which the City Commission has control, please raise your hand and wait for us to acknowledge you and then come forward to the podium. You will have 3 minutes to make your comment. Please state your name and address prior to beginning your comment. Mr. Steiner? Mr. Steiner, are you ready to?
We'll see.
I can wait.
We'll see.
All right.
My name's Jerry Steiner. I live at 115 South 26th Street, and before I begin, I'd like to extend my congratulations to Ms. Lynn Ward Gray. I know she's comfortable in that seat. But you know, I was sitting up and I was trying to find some common ground, y'all. And I found out that everybody in this room has something in common. And that is, all of us were born of a woman. Now, I ain't got to tell you what's happening with Roe versus Wade. You know. And I think I've gave my opinion in this. Some people might say it's a little shaky, but I'm pro-life. But I would never, ever tell a woman what she can or cannot do with her body. That's why I'm kind of shook up about the highest court in the land overturning a law that's been in effect for over 50 years. I speak on it because when I was coming up, abortion was new. But they had a couple of abortion clinics and some liquor stores in the neighborhood. So I guess you get drunk, you get with your woman, make a baby, decide if you're going to have it or not. But aside from the political ramifications of Roe versus Wade, it not only affects the woman, it affects the very fabric of humanity. It's kind of backwards when you can tell a woman yay or nay as to what she's going to do with her body when she's the very cornerstone of humanity. kind of shook me to my core because I was raised by women. It was a woman that wiped my butt, probably just like all of y'all. So you got to give a woman just a little bit more consideration in the political arena. Let's look at the board. Consists mainly of women. Let's look at the city clerk, mainly women. I found out that the city clerk's office comes to work at 8 o'clock and works till 5. I hope they're being amply compensated for that work because they do good work. They've taught me a lot, just like you folks have taught me. But I think in order for us to get to the root of the problem, and we got a lot of them, we got to come together as one. If we can do that, then maybe a lot of the political strife that we have amongst one another can be resolved, or we can at least compromise. I think I got about 5 seconds left, y'all. Peace.
Jerry, thank you very much for your comments. We appreciate them. Are there any other public comments at this time? Reese?
Good evening, Reese Atkins, 24 Popular, Battle Creek, Michigan. I just got one question, okay? Congratulations, Lynn. But there's one piece missing in this whole thing that a lot of people are talking and asking. Ferris was a vice mayor, and I've heard nothing on how the commission is going to vote or when they're going to vote a new vice mayor in, or what commissioners are going to be put into the place of the committees that Ms. Ferris upheld, because I know she upheld quite a few of them. So just interested in how that process is going to happen and when that process is going to happen, that we vote in or give the title of vice mayor. I know, Mark, you're here quite often, but I'm sure occasionally you might want a day off or have to take care of your son or whatever else. And who's going to take the spot if we don't have a vice mayor? Thank you.
Thank you very much. My advice to you is just stay tuned. Yes, ma'am.
Cindy Dion, 24 Poplar. I'm going to take time out today to talk about some of the hopelessness that exists in our community. Part of that is that we have a lot of children out of school right now and a lot of parents without enough food to take care of them. I think, maybe in this community in the future, what we should do is maybe ask our community as a whole to clean out their cupboards and donate food so that the parents can get a bigger allotment during this period of time where it's a struggle to feed their children. I mean, when you go from having to feed them maybe one meal and a snack a day to 3 meals and 2 snacks, that's a lot. And then I'd also like you guys to take a look at all of the people who go on a daily basis to the Salvation Army to have a free lunch and how many children get serviced at that point. I've heard that their numbers went up to well over 120 on a daily basis when school came out. And I think, this is part of what we need to do as a community to make sure that those of us who are in need get what we need. Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy, very much. Any other public comment? Yes. Frank.
I'd like to address the city's antiquated policy as far as drug screening and for city positions and jobs. Since 2008, Michigan has allowed for medical cannabis use, but still we are screening for THC. Even CBD, which is a federally legal substance, contains minute amounts of THC, which could build up in the system and then make a potential employee fail a pre-screen for a drug test. Not only are people paying the state to have this license to use this medicine, but now they are being disqualified from employment even within our city's government. I don't think that, I think that should be looked at. I've talked with Dana Nestle's office and other city officials from Ann Arbor and Grand Rapids. A lot of those cities do not have a concrete drug screening policy, and they have wiggle room where they will let people enter into city employment that have THC in their system. We house the second largest amount of cannabis dispensaries in the state behind Ann Arbor. I think it's contradictory to cast people aside and not let them be a part of the employment of the city and to have that opportunity to make an income with doing totally legal substance that was voted on by our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Any other public comment this time? Roger.
Roger Ballard, 128 Althea Avenue. I just wanted to, I heard comments about the need of food, and I just wanted to mention a couple things. Christ United Methodist Church had started 2 years ago or 3 years ago with a little closet that we put food in, and people stop by and take food, bring food, take food, whatever. But we're proud that we now have the Southwest Michigan Food Bank located in the church, and they're open on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays from 10 to 12. We also have a food giveaway from Southwest Michigan Food Bank at the LGBT Resource Center on Calhoun and Rose on the 4th Friday of every month from 4 o'clock until 6 o'clock. So come out and please get the food. It's there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Roger.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I might ask Roger? Yes. Would you please share the address for the church? If
65 North Bedford.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Are there any other? Yes, Sam Gray.
Sam Gray, 245 Irving Park. And I just want to, right now, publicly say to the city of Battle Creek, for all of the help and support that we got during Juneteenth to make sure the park was cleaned up and presentable, and just all of the support that we got. It was way up here, so appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Any other public comment at this time? Yes, in the back corner.
Hi, I just wanted to plug in an opportunity. Roger actually brought some food to the free food pantry at Lila Arboretum 365 Urban Farm. There are canned goods, dry goods, hygiene, produce, milk, eggs, all in a free pantry, and that is at, I'm trying to find the address here, 948 Michigan Avenue West in Battle Creek, Michigan, 49037. So, yeah.
Thank you for your comments. I
Yeah,
really
and
appreciate it.
diapers and formula, a lot of things for kids as well, needs. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other public comments at this time? John, haven't you been up here already?
Yeah, but this is public comment.
Has he been up once already?
John
Okay,
Kennefic,
I'm
230.
sorry. I just found out you hadn't been up here.
Oh, sorry, am I disappointing you?
No comment.
John Kennefic, 234 South Avenue. At this particular commission meeting, somebody will say something, the commissioners will say something, or a commissioner will say something, and it'll raise an alarm. And whenever I hear a particular word, I relate it to other words. And I heard the word progressive. And my training automatically kicks into other words that are related. Liberal, Democrat, socialist. I think socialist ideas are philosophically great ideas. Unfortunately, most of them today in our society have found out that they're financially in trouble. They cannot be self-sufficient and sustain themselves other than capitalism. Another word that's come around here that's made me kind of nervous was the word entitlement. We are an entitlement city, which is another way of saying that we cannot economically stand on our own 2 feet, that some sort of tax dollars are coming in to support the vast bulk of the population. That will only last so long because the systems that actually make our economy go are in capitalism. They create wealth in the first place. If you're going to create a system where you're drawing faster and harder from the public treasury or treasuries, you're going to find that somewhere along the line people will go to other places or those systems will collapse. And that's not probably too far down the road. I have always looked at trying to explain to the City Commission that you should take any cost benefits that are created by the taxpayer and lower their costs directly instead of keeping it and dispersing it out the way you feel. It's sort of like buying votes for the system that's failing anyway. I don't want it to fail, but that doesn't mean it's not going to fail. And I can crank the numbers too. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you can look at the U.S. debt clock. You'd know that probably the vast bulk of the people working out there that are contributing owe back to the citizens or back to the federal government about $1.5 million. And I simply say to those people, if you were to take care of this debt, how much could you put aside to take care of this debt every year? $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, whatever you can afford. You take that per year, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, and divide it into $1,500,000, and that's your indenturement to the government of Battle Creek. That does not include operations of the state government, county government, or city government. And this is usually why I oppose you, because you're running us into the ground, and we can avoid that if you'd use a little bit of understanding, a common sense of staying away from things that unfortunately sound good, but don't work. Thank you.
Any other public comments at this time? Yes. Tiffany? Have you been up here twice? Okay, good enough. I just want to make sure.
No, it's okay. Tiffany Blackman, 191 Laurel. I decided to come up for this part because you probably won't see me in a really long time. I'm just saying. I'm really glad I attended tonight. I'm really glad that Kelly invited me in support, and I'm super excited for you, Lynn, to be back where you love. And I just wanted to say thank you for all of your public service. I knew Katie personally too. She worked on a volunteer committee at the Battle Creek Community Foundation when I worked there. And I know how much time and effort goes into doing these type of tasks for our community. I know it's not a light task. I also know why I am not in a position to do a task like this, because I need to go home to my children. And I know some of you have children that are young that you're still caring for as well. But I just wanted to say thanks, because it is a lot of time and effort, and you're not doing this for money. You're doing this because you love this community, just like I love this community. And I realize that as a member of this community, we all have a different task to do. My task isn't in sitting on this commission, but yours is, and I want to let you know that I appreciate it. A lot of the things that I have experienced as a resident, community member, business owner, behind the scenes, you're helping to make some of those things happen, so I don't take it for granted, and I do have a deep admiration for you taking these positions when someone like me does not want to, so thank you.
Thank you very much, Tiffany, for your optimism and your kindness. Is there any other public comment at this time? Seeing none, we'll go to commission comments. And this is where there's a good chance that the discussion of the vice mayor position will come up. Is there any commission comments at this time? Lynn Ward-Gray, please.
Yes, I just wanted to thank my fellow commissioners for their support. It is just an honor to serve with each one of you, and I look forward to these next 4 months. And working for the citizens of Battle Creek. Thank you so very, very much, and thank you to all who came out, who applied. I'm so happy to hear many of you are going to apply and consider a run for the City Commission. You still have time, so I'm happy to hear that, and I'm thankful that you put your name in the hat to be a part of this process, and hope to see you at more commission meetings, and maybe applying for some of the boards, committees, and commissions that are available. There's a lot of work to do, and you have a heart for the community, heart for the city, and that's another way to serve.
Thank you very much, Lynn. Commissioner Wilson and Commissioner Bonica Hearing.
Thank you, Mayor. I can't let this evening go without mentioning something, and I want to thank Mr. Jerry Steiner for referencing it first. But the Supreme Court's decision in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization will harm millions of people seeking abortion care, especially those who already face discriminatory obstacles to health care, including women, Black, Indigenous, and other people of color, people with disabilities, people in rural areas, young people, immigrants, and those having difficulty making ends meet. On June 24th, the U.S. Supreme Court issued a ruling overturning Roe v. Wade and paved the way for states across the country to ban abortion outright, with 25 U.S. states expected to take action to ban abortion, including the state of Michigan. To quote Justices Breyer, Sotomayor, and Kagan in their dissent, after today, young women will come of age with fewer rights than their mothers and grandmothers. The majority's refusal to even consider the life-altering consequences of reversing Roe and Casey is a stunning indictment of its decision. We must continue to act today and every day to work toward a future where every person in every state has the right to have control over their own body. There are things you can do today to help people seek care. You can donate, you can show up, you can protest, you can speak up and activate your own networks. You can learn more about the abortion laws in Michigan. Just so you know, Michigan lawmakers will likely try to prohibit abortion, and while Governor Whitmer is supportive of abortion rights, numerous restrictions make it difficult to access abortion in the state. Michigan has a pre-Roe ban that, if enforced, would prohibit abortion in nearly all situations, and the Michigan courts have not determined whether the state constitution protects the right to abortion. You need to know where your lawmakers stand on abortion rights. I want you to know, every person in this room, where I stand. I believe in a woman's choice, and I'm going to make that public. Tell Congress to protect abortion by access by passing the Women's Health Protection Act. And finally, join me and others this Saturday at 1 o'clock at the Sojourner Truth Monument for a reproductive rights rally. Special shout out to Victoria Fox, I know she had to leave, and Kayla McCarthy for their leadership in making that happen. And thank you, and welcome back, Lynn. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, sir. Just so you know, there is a Calhoun County food resource guide. If you Google 211 from a cell phone or call 211, they have a listing of about 40 or 50 places that do food distributions and giveaways in the city of Battle Creek. And that includes the pantries and the distributions. And they're also doing meet up, eat up at a lot of the local schools and parks during the summertime to make sure that the kids get a healthy lunch or something to eat during the afternoons. And there's a listing for that also on the 211 page.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other commission comments at this time? Commissioner Lance.
I'd just like to congratulate the field of flight this past weekend. Obviously, there was some tragedy there, and that's, it's very sad. But the overall attendance and, it's my understanding, the response to that tragedy was highly professional and efficient. And those responders deserve a lot of credit, and the organizers of the event, Barb Haluska and that board. It's a great thing for the city. It's a wonderful asset that we have, that field of flight. I hope we have it for many years to come. The Thunderbirds, and of course, were the headliners. And if you didn't hear them over this weekend, you must have had some pretty loud headphones on. But in any event, it really was a great event. And a good time to be part of the city.
Thank you, Commissioner. We appreciate your comments. Commissioner Sophia.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations, Lynn. It is a pleasure to be able to serve with you again. And I also wanted to give a shout out to Commissioner Blood's mother, who has sat through, she's been visiting So she is not even a resident of Battle Creek, and she has been in the audience for 2 commission meetings, and we appreciate you being here and supporting your daughter.
She's blushing. Yes, thank you, Mom, for, oh, sorry, were you done? Oh, thank you, Mom, for being here. If anybody doesn't know, my mom always watches these like it's my sporting event, and now she's able to come in person. So it's very nice that I get that support. So I am new at this, and I would like to ask those more seasoned veterans what we might do in regards to making a motion to establish the vice mayor for our commission at this point, and how we might go about doing that.
Well, I'd like to call upon the city attorney to advise this body in the moving forward.
Sure. So you're not obligated to do it tonight. You can. You could make a motion that you, that the commission would select a vice mayor tonight. And then if there's support for that, you could move forward with it. And, you know, what we have done in the past is similar to what you just did with selecting Lynn Ward Gray, which is just the clerk draws names and you each state a name of who you would want, or you could nominate. I mean, you might want to decide the process, or you might want to think about it and wait until the next meeting. So that's up to this body. There's not a requirement in the charter to do it within X amount of time, as you were required to do for filling the vacancy.
All right, with that being said, I'll entertain any questions or comments from the commission on the process that you want to vote for the vice mayor. Do you want to do it tonight, or do you want to do it the next meeting? Commissioner Sophia.
So, Joel, so the last vacancy that we had was Dave Walters. He resigned, and Commissioner Lance was appointed. Can you talk to us a little bit about that process? Did it happen? I don't know. I don't recall if it happened that night, if it happened the next meeting, 2 meetings after.
I would defer to Vicki, because I think she might have pulled the minutes and she would have a better recollection, perhaps.
It's going to take me just a minute to pull them up. So it was the meeting of July 31st, 2018.
When he resigned, or when?
When Commissioner Lance
Okay.
was chosen to serve on the commission to fill the vacancy left by Dave Walters. I do not see that we chose anybody to fill in as the vice mayor at that meeting. So
Okay.
it may have been the next meeting.
Okay, so it's up to this commission to make a decision if you want to select tonight, or if you want to do it at the next meeting. We have consensus on that, Commissioner?
I'd like to see us wait till the next meeting, because I think there's more than one person that is interested in that position.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, we'll do it the next meeting then. Are there any other commission comments tonight? Hearing none, we will select the vice mayor at the next meeting. Thank you for attending.
Your Honor, we've got a
we're not-
closed session, so we're
Thank you for reminding me.
to recess.
Excuse me, we'll recess. We'll move into recess.
Alicia. logo. Better, better, but I'm gonna work from home the rest of the week. Thank you.
But I have
that
Crowd cleared out. There were cookies, everybody'd still be.
Yeah, I was, because I sat there for a little bit. I almost did.
Rick's still positive, and my mother.
Return from recess or our closed-door session, and I'd like to call on Commissioner Blood to make
Yes, sir, thank you. I make a motion to accept the recommendation of the city attorney.
Support?
The movement is supported to approve the recommendation of the city attorney. Are there any comments or questions about the motion? Seeing none, would you please vote?
Commissioner Gray?
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion has been approved, and that adjourns our meeting. Thank you for attending.